Hello everybody. कैसे हैं आप लोग? So I believe after a long time we are having once again a question answer session today. So many of RS warriors who have joined in the recent months. I really appreciate the enthusiasm which all of you are showing, and I'm very happy that we have crossed around 3,800 members in this last 11 months of journey since we started. जब शुरू किया था तो कभी ये नहीं सोचा था कि इतना सक्सेस मिलेगा और मैंने और विवेक जी ने जब बिगिन किया था तो वी एक्सपेक्टेड कि अराउंड 250-300 लोग या 400-500 लोग से ज्यादा आरएस स्टडीज में हम जोड़ नहीं पाएंगे बट सरप्राइजिंगली दिस हैज बीन एन अमेजिंग जर्नी and I'm really thankful to each one of you for making RS Warriors a great success and taking it to the new heights of success each and every day. जहाँ पे रोज हमारे साथ बहुत सारे users join हो रहे हैं. So coming to this particular session which I have organized today, the main idea behind this is once again to welcome the new RS Warriors who have enrolled with us recently. Also important is that there are many basic level doubts which I see often which new members post on the group. So आप लोगों को there's a sincere request from me that more than 80% of my RS studies I have tried to what we follow every day. I have tried to cover it in the webinars which I have done. The first webinar was in September and the second webinar was in March 2021. So I recommend all of you that if you have done only one webinar, then kindly do both the webinars. Because if you do one part of the webinar, then there's a lot of other questions which are unaddressed after one webinar that were addressed in the last webinar. So my request is that आप लोग जो भी नए RS Warriors है, उनको दोनों webinars देखना जरूरी है. It will enhance your trading, it will boost your confidence into RS investing, and overall you will feel more confident into taking trades using RS as a system. So that's my very primary recommendation which I want to give to all of you. Kindly also take the notes of what is posted on the groups by me or by some pro RS warriors who have been with me since the first webinar was done in last year of July. So ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आप जो हमारा टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है RS Warriors में उसमें ऊपर जाके अगर सर्च ऑप्शन को आप यूज करेंगे तो you will be able to see those details जो हमने पोस्ट की है. It takes a little trouble to scroll and filter out all those things, but it's worth the effort because हर चीज को हम हर रोज नहीं पोस्ट कर सकते. Members keep on adding into the group, but for the sake of every new member or every 5, 10, 15 new members, we can't repeat post all the things which you have done in the past. So that's a way you can learn scrolling and searching for our messages which we have given, particularly my messages if you are interested. There's also a separate broadcast from where I post my messages to RS Warriors. So I will share once again a link to that broadcast where you can enroll to that broadcast and you can get filtered messages from me only sorted. So you don't have to look at the other messages if you are feeling too cluttered, finding out good content on RS Warriors. That was also initiated some months back, around 8-9 months back, when the need came of filtering out my posts, and that was the idea behind what this was built. So a broadcast is also available for new RS Warriors. Always you can use that broadcast to sort my messages and read through them at the end of the day or whenever you have time. Once a week, once a day, it's up to your discretion. One more thing, today we also have Vivek Bajaj, the main person who inspired me, who joined me with so many of you, and only because of his team's commitment today we all are together. Without this would have never been possible. So in a short while from now, I'm expecting him to join us, and we will also have some questions answered by him If you have particularly questions for his team, for stockage, for Elon markets, you can put through them across. Today, you have an opportunity to get them answered. Okay. Pratik ji, as always, he's my Columbus. Always he keeps maintaining my webinars at the back end, and without his support, I would have never been able to do all this what I'm doing for all of my RS warriors. So once again, thanks a lot, Pratik ji, for taking initiatives whenever I've asked for, and also sharing me books of wisdom. You have time and again sent me a lot of learning via books which you have gifted me, and I really enjoyed, and I cherish those books, reading them again and again, and gaining knowledge out of those books. So yeah, let's try to decode some view about the Nifty. See, basically, I've told many times that right now it's all bulls which are doing the batting in Nifty. We always love to see a cricket match between the bulls and the bears. As you know, it's my favorite way of quoting many things when we are actually counting the bulls and the bears battle. But in fact, in reality, if you see the chart in the last 40 trading sessions, 40, that's not a small figure. 40 trading sessions, they have predominantly been dominated by the bulls. Okay, lately in the last 10 days, 15 days, we see a little smaller movements because the index has crossed new highs, and a little bit of reluctance comes to everybody's mind whether we should invest further, whether this will not crash, whether it's too late to invest. These things are very normal to human psychology. एंड आई डू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये सब चीजें बहुत कॉमन है, सब इंडिविजुअल जो रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स हैं उनके दिमाग में ये चीजें आती है. So people are feeling a little scared to invest, but see, time always has a way to defend whatever happens new. Okay, whenever there is something new, we reject it upfront as humans, but over a period of time, it becomes the new normal. मतलब कोई भी चीज जो नए लेवल पे आती है या नए प्राइस पे आती है, हम लोग यही सोचते हैं कि ये इसका महंगा प्राइस है. बट विथ समय जाने के साथ अगर वो प्राइस उस रेंज के अंदर रहता है जहाँ पे उसका न्यू हाई बन गया, उसके आसपास रहता है, तो कुछ महीनों बाद वी एक्सेप्ट दैट प्राइस एज द न्यू नॉर्मल. ठीक है. So this is what I see exactly happening right now in Nifty. As far as my view is concerned, I am extremely bullish on the market. The first levels which I quoted around 1.5 months back, I posted it on RS Warriors very clearly. When it was crossing 15,000, I clearly marked that 16,000 is coming. Although I was expecting 16,000 to happen in 4-5 months, but that has happened very swift. This was not my expectations of a swifter move, but it did happen, and we have to accept what happened. Okay, so 16,000 is around the corner, just a few points here and there. It might take a little bit of consolidation and some little correction, maybe 2-3% kind of a correction. But overall, there's no way that the bears are going to hit hard unless and until unke paas there is a big reason to hammer stocks. See, it's very easy to say that यहाँ पे level आ गया, profit book कर लो, थोड़ा घर पे रख लो, this that. The basic problem which all of us in India or in overseas is facing is that हम पैसे को deploy कहाँ पे करें? If you don't have enough avenues where liquidity is there and money can be deployed for higher, greater returns, again and again वो पैसा घूम फिर के market में ही आने वाला है. There can be momentary shift of money from one instrument to another instrument, but end of the story is that the money will always be attracted towards stock investing. Okay, if you see the large organizations like LIC or other organizations, even the government organizations who have good corpus with them, वो लोग भी अच्छे स्क्रिप्ट्स में मार्केट में इन्वेस्टमेंट्स करते हैं और लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए करते हैं. Why do they do this? They could have done a safer investment avenue, but there's no good enough option where the liquidity is available. At any point, you can take your money off the table and have the money transferred to your account, and at the same time, you also enjoy the returns which are generated from the market. So I believe मैंने तो पिछले 12 साल में जब से मैंने RS स्टडी शुरू किया है, I've always left behind worrying behind new highs of any stock or any index. In fact, it excites me more because when a new high is hit, basically it shows that there are enough buyers which are propelling it to a newer high. And when there is demand, the law of economics, what does it say? The demand and the supply. So when there is demand, there is always a buyer there for a product or for a service or for a market. The price keeps trickling higher. Okay. And when there is supply on the flip side, obviously it will trickle down. As of now, the clear indication is that the market has tremendous demand. The demand is there. It's not fading out. Very extremely positive news is about the VIX, which is at the lifetime lows, almost like last February around maybe this levels of VIX were there, and that's back on the screen. So I believe the institutionals are not also hedging their portfolios right now big time. Puts are having very minimal premiums because there is no demand for puts. Enough puts are not being gobbled up as hedge against their huge investments into a market, and that's a big positive. I feel that's a big positive. And the only reason is because, see, the money has been deployed, it has been invested. After maybe a consolidation of in between like 2.5 months in between, we had around March and April month of this year, and when the COVID was actually started to grow up, the market was resisting itself to go up first, and it got a good consolidation time in that period. तो उसके बाद जो है वो मार्केट को ब्रेकआउट मिला and it got a good support out of that consolidation zone. Okay, so as of now, my worry is absolutely not in terms of like new highs are there and we should offload our portfolios and keep money at home and all this is crap for me. I don't know about others' view, but for me, it's never going to happen as of now. I will actually wait for some events which clarify that this is going to crash. I mean, there should be some indication, some news, something which is terribly wrong, which flashes on the screen, and that's when we actually start to react. But based on the fear of this is going to crash and this is going to go down and this is going to go to some other level deep down, that is all hypothetical imagination, and we should not get trapped by the fear factor. Okay. I believe 16,000 was my first working target. I still see it going up to 16,300 in a few months' time. Maybe it might take a little bit of more consolidation from here on. But I'm very clear on my targets. I always been not like the statements from which come from me is not with ifs and buts. They're always very clear based on the demand which is panning out, and that's what I believe, and that's the way I invest. So RS positive stocks is what we should prefer as an RS warrior. The rule is very simple. Once again, I know all of you know it, but still I want to go verbal on this Q&A session which we are doing, that for RS stocks, you only buy when ARS and SRS, both of the lines which we follow, they cross over to a positive zone or are there into the positive zone since many months, maybe like 2 months, 3 months, they are RS positive and the stock is giving a little bit of dip and you have a buying opportunity, then you can buy into those stocks. Okay. On the other side, when either of the one line, which is ARS or SRS, that goes negative side, then you start worrying about the stock. Maybe if one of the lines goes negative, you partially offload your positions into the stock. And when both the lines go negative, you seriously should think of closing your positions. Okay. Now, one would say कि उस दौरान correction आएगा, price नीचे चला जाएगा, this that, agreed. But see, we are not here to figure out the exact top and the bottom. One has to be very clear about this. Nobody on the planet has ever done it successfully again and again, figuring out the tops and the bottoms for any stock or for any index. Okay. What's important is the journey which in between which you make. When you started after the bottom was formed, when the RS crossed and you started investing into that stock, and then you scaled up, And then when you scaled up, you took some profits and remained with the balance stock with your investments till the time the RS was negative. That's the kind of a in-between journey which you make as your profits. Okay, and you should always be happy with those returns. I believe I've proven many times in many stocks which I've recommended. You must have seen that they have given a return of around 30%, 40% in a span of around 6 months, which is very good. I mean, see, think of the bank interest which we get today of 5% annualized, or when you do a traditional business, and maybe if some business has 50% operating margin, after all the expenses and all the business doing hassles, maybe if they are earning 25% return, net profit, then here investing into the right way using RS, if you are getting 30% gains in 6 months, I believe that's phenomenal. So my simple tool, if it's helping you generate great returns, please use it to your benefit with conviction. Most important is having conviction. I see a lack of convictions in many new RS warriors. उनको लगता है कि मार्केट महंगा हो गया है, स्टॉक का प्राइस बढ़ गया है, should I buy it or not? Premal bhai, please convince us that this is a good investment to do it or not. But then if I keep explaining everyone whether this is a good or a bad investment to do right now, when will you all get the right experience? When will you all learn to really, trade by yourselves and invest by yourselves? So, if you have time to do research at the end of the day, please use the wonderful stockage applications. And I'm thankful to Vivek Bajaj for adding the ARS and SRS scans into the stockage applications. At the end of the day, if you run it for around 5-10 minutes, you will get all your stocks filtered at the end of the day, which are lucrative enough to invest, which are good fundamentals, and with that ARS and SRS positive. And then you can pick good stocks out of that and invest. But it just needs a little bit of effort from you and a conviction building exercise which you have to do each day. See, there is no shortcut to success, and everything which you learn new has to be experienced. And when you experienced it for some time, maybe 1 year or 2 years or three years time, that's when actually your conviction gets closer to 100%. My conviction is right now 95%, but that's happened because I've used RS for many years, more than a decade now. It's almost 13th year which I'm using RS right now. So that comes gradually. You can't expect magic to happen to you. You have to go through various phases of the market. You have to try to understand the various phases of the market and how RS stocks react in that market situations. And when you experience all these things, that's how actually you grow. Okay, a small thing, not not out of my need, but I received many messages from many RS warriors time and again. And sir, हम लोग jobs and professions में इतना occupied है कि हमारे पास अच्छी opportunities को filter करने का समय ही नहीं. So for those people who are really finding hard to find time for their investments, I have initiated a little bit of advisory services long back for RS Warriors member exclusively. I do accept members into that, but that's basically I need a minimum portfolio of around 10 lakh rupees or more. Then only that's viable for my kind of operations, and I can recommend you good stocks, maybe around 30-40 stocks in a year, and which you can possibly, if you are convinced about it, you can try to invest into these stocks. That service is open for RS Warriors, but then you need a minimum of corpus, which I said, and any day you are most welcome to join me on that. See, that's absolutely nothing of a kind of a necessity which you should join. Only and only if you find it tough to get conviction and invest wisely, if you don't get time enough to research because of your work, business, profession, whatever you are doing, and you are not able to match up to the speed of investment which you actually should do, then you should look forward to it. Otherwise, it's okay. मेरा जो recommendation मैं advisory में देता हूँ, वही recommendation I try to every time I do it. I most of the time also post it after a while on the group. The idea behind it is to study the movement of the stocks which we have filtered out and which we are investing into. maybe some stocks won't perform, but most of the stocks do perform. तो आप लोग उन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को अगर ट्रैक भी करेंगे फॉर मे बी 6 months आफ्टर वी हैव इनिशिएटेड अ बाय, that will also help you get a lot of conviction into RS studies. I do agree. I have a little more experience than all of you behind who have joined me in the last 11 months. But my idea is to completely share with you each and everything which I do, which I invest into, the stocks which I like. My recommendations are not to execute trades and just buy behind. My recommendations are purely for you to understand what logic I have applied to that stock, why am I buying, and most important is how the stock is performing after we have bought it. No, you must have seen many stocks doing great returns, but then you have to understand where they were bought and how it moved after we bought and gain conviction out of it. And next time when you trade something which of a similar structure, you might be a better trader than just blindly following me on my recommendations. But then you can always be a better trader if you have time, if you put in a little more effort to learn and understand what I'm trying to tell you. Most welcome again, once again, all the RS warriors, the new members. I believe maybe the last time we did webinar of this sort, it was around 3,000 members. Today there are more than 3,800 members. It has been quite a while since I did this Q&A sessions, but I'm warmly welcome each one of you. मेरी कोशिश यही है कि आप सब लोगों से जितना जोड़ पाऊँ मैं करता हूँ. Apart from my daily commitments towards my own operations and other things, I make it a point that the maximum which I can give each day of my working, I try to give it to RS Warriors platform. And I really love you all. You have been so generous. There are some people who have again and again supported me in a lot of things, which keeps me inspiring. That if people are ready to give so much out of them, so much for RS studies, it's my responsibility to to grab their hand and make the best of their investing journey for the years to come ahead. And we all are looking at passing this experience to our next generation. I am really seriously looking at, if I have around 500 people across the country who have digested inside themselves RS studies, and if their next generation are taught this, maybe this young generation will take it far, far ahead than what we all of us could. And that's what I'm looking at as a legacy of extending RS to many, many peoples of our country going forward. Vivekji, are you there? I'm not able to actually see you. And Pratikji, can we start with some question answers? Actually, I don't see them. But okay, I do see now. Yes. Okay, sir, which course do you do first for RS webinar? I recommend first to do the September webinar. If you are comfortable in English, do the September webinar. If you are not comfortable with English, तो हिंदी का webinar है that was done in July 2020. So either of it you can start. Once you have done that, then take the March webinar. This was the recent one, and there is some extension to my RS studies which I have introduced in the March webinar. If RS positive stocks starts a sideways movement, entire capital already invested into other stocks, market giving other opportunities, should we come out of this? Why would you want to come out of everything which goes sideways? See, when a sprinter runs, obviously after a run he needs a breather. The same thing happens with stocks. Okay, every stock which has run, it will take a breather, and that breather is not sideways movement. It's a pause which the stock takes for the next leg of rally. Okay, one should be very confident with RS positive stocks till the time they show deep corrections enough that justifies your exit. If there is a sideways consolidation, if it's a shallow correction, which is a very small correction of, let me put you like the stock ran up by around 30% in a rally, and then it is correcting by 8-10% after the rally. That's not called correction. Okay, that's taking a breather, and getting ready for the next leg of rally. So absolutely no for what you asked. Be invested into the stock confidently, and I am 100% sure you will get great returns if you be a little patient with your investment. गौरव पूजा सर, my question थी जब कोरोना आया था तब आपने जो भी स्टॉक लिए थे उनका क्या हुआ? I mean वो सारे लक्ष्मण? No, obviously नहीं गए. See, we did invest after the budget announcement into Action Construction. I can quote you very well, and I've given it to my advisory clients. I particularly myself was also invested into that stock, and we invested in the price range of 150, 160 rupees. So you can go and check what happened after March, after which the second wave of Corona started to, grapple our country. And by mid-March, by April, by May, we were all around seeing Corona and gloom kind of scenarios. But this stock was easy enough, consolidating in a sideways zone for all this period. And suddenly, when the Corona started to subside, you can see in the last 15 days, the stock has given amazing move, which was very well expected. And infrastructure being the thirst of our budget, as announced by the finance minister in the budget session. They are going to, if I'm not wrong, there's going to be an added budget spend of around 38% in the infrastructure sector by the finance ministry this year. And that's going to propel a big advantage for every company which is in some way or the other connected to infrastructure sector. So that was the idea, and sideways period was there in which we stood behind the stock, and suddenly after this thing went away in 15-20 days, we were able to churn out 30-40% gains out of our investments. I believe 4 months time and 30-40% gains in an investment, nobody would say that this is not a good investment. We can 100% go with such kind of investments. Any filter in trading view to find good RS stocks? Obviously, there is a filter. It's okay you use a trading view filter, but I strongly recommend to use stockage filters, especially the combo scans which are available in stockage. See, a company has made terrific effort to exactly incorporate ARS, SRS into our scans, and that's exactly what we want. So, if we are getting exactly what we want, why would we want to go and look other things around? You use combo scans into stockage app, and you use it to your benefit, finding out good opportunities. You can keep scans which incorporate some fundamental parameters along with the technical parameters, and that will filter out you amazing stocks. I've done it many times. I've used it to my benefit extensively. In fact, on RS Warriors कुछ समय पहले मैंने अपने exact scans का screenshot भी share किया. So always you can take those screenshots and build an exact scan so that mine and your result are the same. Now what more do you want? I mean, if my result is going to be this stocks and your result is exactly the same, the only thing which you have to do is look at those 8-10 stocks which comes into your scan and then filter out where you have to invest in. उससे ज़्यादा easy तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. SRS both 180, 118 and 124, which makes both value almost like SRB. See, with SRS, the date keeps on shifting one day forward every trading day. Okay. With ARS, we are static at a particular date. As of now, it is 22nd of December 2020, which we are adapting as ARS date. So, don't go by 118, 123, 144, 125, 126. That's going to keep on changing every day for ARS. What's going material is a conjunction of both the dates happening in our scans, and we are finding opportunities in conjunction with both the dates. Okay. When exactly 123 comes in ARS and SRS, I do agree that the same particular date will be there for a period of 1 or 2 days, जहाँ पे 123, 124 होगा, no? But when 125, 126 will happen, what will happen? The SRS will keep forwarding one day ahead because वहाँ पे हम एक day को नहीं follow कर रहे, वो आगे चला जाएगा, जबकि ARS वहीं पे static रहेगा. So at 125, when ARS is 125 and SRS is 123, both the dates will be different, which will be tracked for our plotting of the line. Okay, think of it as we have two paths and we are landing our feet on both the paths, and if the both the paths are good enough for a runway, then only we are holding a stop. What more can we expect? अगर आप कंफ्यूज हो रहे हैं तो आप सिर्फ एक ले लीजिए, आप सिर्फ ARS लेके काम करिए. But this is my logic of doing things more better, more dependable. उसकी वजह से I am adopting ARS and SRS both simultaneously. Okay. Stock selecting from outperforming sector. Please need more guidance from stock agent. Go to my last Q&A session. Last Q&A sessions में I've gone online on the screen and I've showed how I filter stocks. Stockage scans में भी आप जाएंगे तो there's very easy way of filtering out sectors which are performing. उस sectors में कौन से stocks outperforming है. That's very easy to do it. And I believe if you still don't understand, सिर्फ एक email is what it takes when you write to support stockage team, and they will call you back and guide you exactly how you need to filter the stocks in sector wise. It's absolutely easy. I've gone time and again online and said that stockage has made my research time cut down today by 95%. There was a point where I used to spend hours and hours filtering out RS stocks, and there were no computers and trading view kind of systems. So हम लोग calculator पे manually चीजों को calculate करके we used to find out whether the stock is good enough to invest or not, and that would take hours for me. मतलब market खत्म हुआ उसके बाद when I started late night 11 बजे तक मैं calculations करके अपनी sheets बनाता था कि RS positive stocks है और इनको मुझे track करना है. But this apps, mobiles, device, gadgets, everything, as the time evolved, it has cut down my research time hugely. And maybe today I just need around 20-30 minutes a day to do my research. So I strongly recommend all of you to do it. It's by the fortune of the company giving us at a throwaway price that we are getting it at sub 4,000 rupees price, which is peanuts for such kind of an application. But it's Vivek's intention always to help to empower the retail investors to a large extent, which keeps inspiring me also to help you all in your investing journey. Rishi Vaikole, sir, what should be seen when doing fundamental study of RS positive stocks? Yes, good question. Most important is I see the recent quarter result. If there is a jump in the EPS, the earning per share, I really like those stocks. See, there are many ways of filtering out fundamental stocks, but as you can, as I would rightly admit, I'm not deep into fundamentals. I just like to touch upon fundamentals. Why? Because if I see that the company's top line and bottom line have grown, if the earning per share has grown, there is a consistent demand of those company shares from the fundamental investors. मैंने पहले भी बताया है कि मुझे जो भी स्टॉक में इन्वेस्ट करना है उसमें मुझे सिर्फ फंडामेंटल इन्वेस्टर नहीं चाहिए, मुझे फंडामेंटल के साथ टेक्निकल इन्वेस्टर भी चाहिए, जो दो लोग मिलके जब प्राइस को पुश देते हैं तो दैट्स अ वेरी गुड पुश. दैट्स द रीजन आई टच अपॉन फंडामेंटल स्क्रैचिंग द सरफेस. आई जस्ट डोंट डाइव डीपर इनटू इट. मतलब कितना ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट मार्जिन जंप हुआ, व्हाट आर द अदर पैरामीटर्स, कंपनी के रिजर्व्स कितने हैं, उसने केपेक्स क्या किया, वो तो अब if I keep on researching, it will take maybe एक कंपनी के पीछे a month for me to decode everything and then invest. And today's time the price reactions are very spontaneous. So by the time I am concluded that this is a good company, maybe the company's price is already 30%, 40% higher, which I really would be not willing to take that back, because the risk reward ratio will by that time will get skewed. So उस वजह से I would not like to do so much of deep diving into the fundamental. पहले भी मैंने बताया है, Markets Mojo is a good platform. There is a paid service from them. They are always running some promotions. Right now also there is a good promotion in it. I use it often. मैं market mojes के जो ratings होते हैं, which are very automated, algorithm based, and there are no manual interactions in that rating system. So I like that system, and I keep following my stock recommendations on Market Mojo कि उनका rating कैसे आया, result के बाद rating में क्या changes आए, and I adjust my fundamental analysis based on that rating. So maybe if you're comfortable, you can try that platform. It costs something like 8-10,000 rupees a year. For me, it's very viable. Maybe आप लोगों को अगर सही लगे तो आप उसको use कर सकते हैं. I'm not endorsing anything. It's just an idea which I'm sharing. So for fundamental analysis, to make it very simple, you can look at this. The share list shared by you has not the share which you recommend. Can you please? Rahul, I didn't actually understand the question. I think जो भी shares मैंने recommend किए वो it's in the public domain. There's nothing which I've hidden, which I have not disclosed. My point is never to hide something which I am doing and I'm not telling you. So kindly connect with Elon Markets team if they have if you are not getting the proper support. Within Kaimal, okay. Some books on RS. See, relative strength in India is not very famous. As you might have all seen that there are hardly people who are scratching around RS. I have been doing for long. तो उसकी वजह से इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट के यूज की आरएस बुक्स अभी तक तो मैंने शायद देखी नहीं है. In general, in US there are many RS books, but again there's more of point and figure charting in those RS books. While what we are doing is on candlesticks chart, because in point and figure charts there is no consideration for volumes, which I felt very important factor dealing with Indian stocks. And for that reason, I shifted my focus from point and figure charts to candlestick charts, below which there is volumes, and always I look at volumes plus the candlestick charts in conjunction with each other, and then I take a decision. So as of now, I don't think there are good enough books in India for RS studies. But obviously, I have given you 2-3 webinars by now, and it's a safe way of investing into RS studies, with RS studies, viewing those webinars and taking experience from RS webinars. Rahul Chaudhary, how do you identify the supply is exhausted and demand is picking up? Well, you count the bulls and the bears in the first case. If the bulls are like, you are seeing a move of around maybe 10-15% in, let's say, 20-25 trading sessions, and if the pullback is very shallow, what does that mean? After a 15% move, if there is a pullback of say 5%, and number of bars in which the upward journey happened, the number of bars which the pullback is happening, if that's lower than the uptrending bars, then obviously it shows that the bears are less and the bulls are more. It's very simple to observe. Just try observing charts. See, in Nifty also at some point when the breakdown was not coming, the breakout was not coming, people were confused that this could go down also and this could go up also. Where I came with a clear view, no, this is definitely going upwards, not downwards. And it certainly happened, and the Nifty broken out. That happened only because of my calculations where I showed you on the screen how many days of bull bars have happened versus the bear bars. And that's very simple to do, but people forget again and again, and they go to other systems. इसकी वजह से वो confuse हो जाते हैं कि हमको क्या करना है. For stocks, apart from index where there is no volume on the bottom, for stocks you can always also see the volume bars. If bulls are strong, the volume bars will be much higher in bull days and vis-a-vis compared to the bear bars. So जिस दिन bears का volume बहुत कम हो और bull volumes ज़्यादा हो, one thing is very clear that the bulls are strong and they are buying big time when the opportunity knocks, and that shows that the demand is more than the supply. You should observe this. Observation is very important. There is no rocket science or something which I have not said you. Very important is observing, which I am telling you. And if you give it a little bit of more, keen observation time, I'm 100% sure that can be easily done. RS study should be done based on daily, weekly basis. Yes. Important questions. I have again and again said, for investing, when you are actually ready to dive into a stock, where you want to deploy your money, you always and always follow daily charts. Okay. When you are actually trying to conclude whether this stock is good, bad or ugly and what it has done in the history, that's where you need to check on the weekly or the monthly charts. See, we all know by now that weekly and monthly charts, they cut the noise. So when you want to cut the noise and when you want to see a longer period, you obviously have to jump to the weekly and monthly charts. So what I traditionally do is कि पहले मैं एक स्टॉक को आइडेंटिफाई करता हूँ जो डेली पे मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, उसके बाद मैं उसको अपने मार्केट वॉच लिस्ट में डालता हूँ. I keep a track of that stock for a minimum of 2 weeks up to 3 months time. And kahin na kahin, when I'm concluding with the idea that this stock is good enough to actually dive in, मैं उन stocks के monthly and weekly charts देखना शुरू कर देता हूँ. Why? Because those stocks give me longer term में history ने क्या दिखाया. अगर एक प्राइस के बाद बहुत अच्छा बड़ा मूव आया है तो वो हमें कुछ साल पीछे जाके दिखेगा. And at that price point is a very lucrative entry point for me because उस प्राइस के ऊपर जो हिस्ट्री हुआ था वो रिपीट भी हो सकता है. There's a famous saying in English that history always repeats, and that exactly happens in stock market investing also, which I firmly believe. I don't know if others believe or not, but वही चीज को लॉजिक मानते हुए मैं अगर एक क्रिटिकल लेवल है जो हिस्ट्री में 5 साल 6 साल 8 साल पहले हुआ था और उस लेवल को वो वायलेट करता है तो उस लेवल पे मैं I would go big into buying that stock, and I would try to convince myself, my inner self, that this is the right point of entry. जो शायद डेली पॉइंट में हमें ओवरबॉट लगेगा, बहुत महंगा लगेगा, and we will not be able to convince ourselves. So 80-85% of the time of my day when I'm seeing live market, when I'm doing my studies, my analysis, I always focus on daily charts. It's only when I actually want to dive into a stock as an investment, considering as an investment potential, I look into the weekly and the monthly chart of only those few stocks which I have positions. Okay, you can follow your method, but this is my method, so this is the way I do it. Breakout trading or pullback trading, which one is preferable? Now, this is purely dependent on your psychology. Some people are cut out for pullbacks because they simply love discounts. I also like discounts, but I always like discounts on consumables. I've gone on again and again, मैंने कितनी बार बोला है कि डिस्काउंट जो है वो हमेशा आपको जिन चीजों को यूज करना है उस पे लेना चाहिए, जैसे कार है, कपड़े है, टीवी है, फ्रिज है. These are consumables. यहाँ पे we are talking of investing into a business. तो डिस्काउंटेड बिजनेस पे क्यों इन्वेस्टमेंट करें? जिस चीज को मार्केट पैसा नहीं देना चाहता है, प्राइस नीचे गिर रहा है, तो उस स्टॉक में मैं क्यों इन्वेस्टमेंट करूं जब मार्केट उसको प्रीमियम नहीं देना चाहता. So investing into a stock is like investing into a business. This is my personal belief, and that's where I stand upon. So उस लॉजिक के बीच में I always invest believing that what is a premium for a stock, and if the stock is premium, I will invest into that stock. You check, you can go and check Lakshmi Machine Works, which we have invested. My advisory clients also have got investment into the stock. And after we did investment, the stock is okay, doing a little bit of sideways movement for many sessions right now. But I firmly believe that the stock has huge potential. And why? The basic reason is that 6,500 rupees plus stock doesn't attract punters and small investors into the counter. And when we are into a 5-star hotel, we only get the elite. And that's exactly what will happen with the 4-digit stock. And I believe as long as that's going to again and again happen, is going to be big chunks for investments into such stocks. But then you need to have the patience to keep your investments, hold for it, and slow and gradually, when the time actually ripens up, a big move will be rewarded for you into those stocks. So based on those logics, you can do your own analysis. मैं छोटे stocks, छोटी value के stocks, if they are highly liquid, I prefer them. If they are like circuit stocks or if they are restricted kind of stocks where the promoter is not very clear picture kind of a person, I keep away from those stocks. Circuit to circuit stocks, I absolutely am no with those stocks. And all the stocks which are safe, that's my investment where I want to make it. See, for me, important is not the percentage gain. What is important is how much risk I am taking. All the avenues which are offering low risk and high return potential, they are my target. So I initiate a trade only and only when I see the risk to reward is favorable. Minimum of 1:2 is what I would want, and if it is 1:3, 4 or 5, that's the icing on the cake, and I would just drool over such ideas which are offering exceptional good 1:3, 4 and 5 kind of returns. I would not disclose it right now because I have not invested into a stock, but in recent times, just recent, like maybe a week back, I have found one such excellent opportunity which I am tracking into. And the time comes when I am actually initiating a buy with my advisory client in that investments. I will disclose it to RSWARRIORS. There is an exceptional investment opportunity which is giving like 1:4, 5 kind of a return scenario, which I am seeing it right now. And such stocks, really they don't depend a lot on the Nifty. If the Nifty does this or that, these stocks will crash or jump along. That's not going to happen. They just perform. They take a pause when the market is not performing, and they just run up like anything when the market starts trending again. So that's how the investments are done. Do we take position when RS stocks give breakouts supported by good volume? Any other parameter we should look into consider? Obviously, see, RS positive stocks giving breakouts supported by volumes, obviously 100% right. End of the day, on an EOD basis, go and check the delivery percentage. It's very easily available on Stockage app. Only thing is you need to open the app, go to the stock and check out whether what percentage of deliveries happened into stock. See, volumes can be either traded volumes or they can be delivery volumes. तो अगर आपको traded volume सिर्फ चाहिए तो आप खाली volume bars देखो. अगर आपको सही में home कितने लोग लेके गए वो stock वो देखना है तो you need to check deliveries. If the deliveries have jumped by around 2x, 3x or 4x vis-a-vis the last 20 days of volumes which the stock was generating, that shows that some big institution or some big HNI has started accumulating the stocks. Many stocks मैंने ऐसा देखा है just before the result, the insiders start accumulating such stocks. So अगर insiders have been expecting a very good quarterly result of the company, तो ऐसे कई सारे stocks हैं जहाँ पे आपको huge jump in delivery मिलेगा after a lull of around 2-3 months जब अगले quarter का result आया उससे पहले. So this can be potential investment opportunities which we should look at. अगर हमें delivery jump बहुत अच्छा मिलता है, then definitely one should go with those investments. Vijay ji, you are a good friend. I always like to smile a lot. Thank you for reminding me. Vijay Thakkar, I should appreciate his goodness. Of late, RS Warriors तो हमें social cause में बहुत अच्छा support कर ही रहे. But I can proudly announce on this forum that Vijay Thakkar also has joined the initiative with me. And in his own way, he has started to support my NGO and contributing for the betterment of education for the underprivileged. He's also initiated those calls with me. I'm very thankful for him joining hands with me, and let's together make our nation and our children who are the future of our nation. Let's try to take them to a next level of success in their life. and imparting education for the needy children who are bright enough in the schools, but maybe because of various factors, their parents are not able to support them. I would like to quote right now that my NGO, which was undertaken, which was initiated by my mother 30 years back, the primary goal of which is education for children and to some extent women empowerment. That's what we work for. We work for all the social causes which are beneficial to the society and not individual causes which are one person to another person. Okay, that's where we want to spend our funds. So anybody across, when you come across some person who has a child who is bright enough in the schools or in her studies or in his studies, and they are not able to support the child's education, please come to me. After verifying the facts, we would ensure that the child gets the due education till the time he does his post graduation and completes his full studies. I will ensure that enough resource for him are allocated so that the education of the child is completed and the child can make a good career finishing that education for himself and for his generations ahead. I'm always open to that idea. Okay, please let me know. Anybody can DM me, and I'm very inclined to help every child of our country who needs education. If RS line crosses with big percentage gain like 8-10%, should we enter? Yes. See, don't assume RS line is not like RSI or MACD or this or that. It's basically a system. It's not rather an indicator. तो ये ऊपर चला गया RS लाइन की बहुत ऊपर, तो ये ओवरबॉट हो गया. अब RS लाइन के नीचे चला गया तो ओवरसोल्ड हो गया, या RS लाइन के पास आ गया तो ओवरसोल्ड हो गया. Just forget that thing out of your mind. RS लाइन के ऊपर स्टॉक और काफी टाइम से ऊपर रहने का मतलब वो स्टॉक में बहुत अच्छा पोटेंशियल है निफ्टी 50 स्टॉक्स को आउट परफॉर्म करने का. अगर वो कंसिस्टेंटली निफ्टी 50 बेंचमार्क को आउट परफॉर्म कर रहा है और पिछले 6 महीने से ऊपर ही रह रहा है, तो आई डोंट सी कि आप लोगों को व्हाई यू शुड नॉट टेक एन एंट्री इनटू दैट स्टॉक. अगर वो क्रॉसओवर के बाद 10% बढ़ गया, दैट इज नॉट द एंड ऑफ द जर्नी. हम लोग वैसे भी 10% रिटर्न के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कर रहे. हम लोग पोजिशनल इन्वेस्टिंग कर रहे हैं, हम लोग 6 मंथ्स का व्यू लेके इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं, और हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं 30, 40, 50% गेन्स के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं. तो अगर उसमें से 40% में से या 30% में से 10% चला गया, तो दैट शुड नॉट डिटर यू फ्रॉम इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू दैट स्टॉक. काफी बचा है. You should be happy with that. See, learn to stay happy with the returns which you make and not being unhappy all the time कि मैं उसको नीचे नहीं पकड़ पाया, ऊपर नहीं बेच पाया. This is not the way life is. Cherish what the gains which you get and always leave on table gains for the other person who is buying from you. मैं काफी बार ग्रुप पे भी बोल चुका हूँ. I would again want to reinstate that हमेशा अपने बायर के लिए टेबल पे प्रॉफिट्स छोड़ना सीखिए. कई स्टॉक्स में मैंने ऐसा छोड़ा है कि मेरे से ज्यादा उसको मिला है, and I have literally been really happy that the person who I might have sold, maybe if he had kept that investment for a longer period, उसने मुझसे बहुत ज्यादा कमाया है. That's the kind of peace and zen which we get when we embrace everybody and we expect every human to earn good money and feed his or her home and educate their children. So that's the way you should look at investing. How to reach out to your advisory services? Any day you can DM me. I will verify some background check from you. Especially I don't take traders who have every day मुझे कुछ करना है, temptation of trading every day. महीना हो गया तो मुझे कितना % रिटर्न मिलेगा, ये सब एनालिसिस जो लोग करते हैं, they are strictly no for my advisory. My advisory is purely for people who have a little bit of patience. हर एक इन्वेस्टमेंट्स को वो 6 महीने के व्यू से इन्वेस्ट कर सके और मेरे साथ कन्विक्शन बिल्ड कर सके आरएस मॉडल के इन्वेस्टिंग मॉडल पे, उनके लिए मेरे है. So it's not absolutely important for me to join any advisory services or take those. But most important is adapting RS system and believing into the system. Many people ask me a question कि सर annually return क्या है? तो मेरा एक ही सवाल रहता है सबको, अगर आपने आज ज्वाइन किया, एक साल के लिए ज्वाइन किया, अगले एक साल में if you can exactly say me कि return of Nifty will be this percentage, then I will be able to give you that. Because we are trying to outperform the benchmark. We cannot go the reverse way. जैसे Nifty 10% घट गया, मेरा स्टॉक 50% बढ़ गया. This is not going to happen. अगर निफ्टी घटेगा तो आरएस स्टॉक्स भी घटेगा, बट वो कम घटेगा. अगर निफ्टी बढ़ेगा तो आरएस स्टॉक्स बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ेगा कंपेयर टू दैट. दैट्स फॉर श्योर. सो ओनली थिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज दैट आप लोग जो है इस सिस्टम को समझिए. डोंट गेट योर माइंड ट्रैप्ड इनटू सालाना रिटर्न क्या आएगा, मंथली रिटर्न क्या आएगा. सी मार्केट इज नॉट, वो डेट्स देके काम नहीं करता है. कभी आपने देखा है कि ये डेट के ऊपर आया तो एक महीना हो गया तो अभी स्टॉक का टाइम हो गया परफॉर्म होने का? ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. इट्स अस ह्यूमंस हु थिंक इन दैट वे. एक महीना हो गया, मेरे पोर्टफोलियो का परसेंटेज रिटर्न क्या आया. अच्छा, ये भी हो सकता है कई बार कि एक महीने में आपका परसेंटेज रिटर्न 2% आया हो रिटर्न का, और एक महीना और 2 दिन के बाद वो जंप हो जाए 5%. Why? Because suddenly in the next 3 days, some of your stocks gave a big move. So how do you analyze it? Whether you will see 2% or after 34 days you will be happy seeing 5%. So absolutely, please don't take all these things. It's crap. Don't time your entry and exit. Be with the system, believe in the system, and do the best what you can do about your investing. Dhiresh Desale ji, yes, thank you so much. It's my legacy of my mother's legacy, which I've learned, the joy of giving. And I was blessed with a mother who taught me a lot about the joy of giving. And when I actually started experiencing that joy, that's when I decided that I'm going to share it to everybody around me, and whoever wants to can be a part of this wonderful feeling. See, आप लोग कभी ये सोच के देखिएगा, I don't know about new people who have joined me today, but एक चीज सिंपल है कि आप कुछ मटीरियलिस्टिक अपने लिए लेते हैं, जैसे मोबाइल फोन लिया या कार लिया या कुछ भी आपके लिए लिया. There is a limited period you will be happy about acquiring that thing. Like for a mobile, maybe 15 days or 1 month you will feel proud about it. For a car, maybe 6 months or 1 year you will feel proud about it. For a home, maybe 5 years you will feel proud about it. But do a good deed. Do something which makes a difference to our society, to the underprivileged, to the lakhs and thousands of people who are not getting enough because of the population of our country, because of the lack of resources which they should deserve, but they are not getting it. And I am 100% sure that for even one good cause you have done in your life, for all your life, the years which you live, again and again you will cherish those memories, and that feeling of goodness will keep lingering in your mind. So that's an endless feeling of joy which you get when you do something for the unknown, for the people you don't know, and you do good for them. So try to experience that joy, and I'm very, very sure that you will live a different life after you start initiating these things. किसी स्टॉक सिलेक्ट करके बताओ for more clearly. Please, I would recommend, see, this is not the right forum जहाँ पे ऐसी चीज मैं अभी Q&A session में लेना चाहूँगा. Please go through my webinar how we do the stock selections using RS method. If you have not taken it, if you have taken it, come to RS Warriors. बहुत सारे recommendations मैंने RS Warriors group में दिए हैं. जो stocks मैंने select किए हैं, उन stocks में मेरा investments है, मेरे clients का investment है. तो उन स्टॉक को आप आराम से ट्रैक कर सकते हैं. एक नहीं, अनेकों स्टॉक है. मतलब आई बिलीव इन द लास्ट 11 मंथ्स 30-40 स्टॉक्स मैंने शायद रेकमेंड किए. तो उन स्टॉक्स को आप आराम से रेकमेंडेड डेट से लेके उनका आज तक का जर्नी है, उसको आप ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हो. उस दौरान आरएस लाइन ने कैसे बिहेव किया, उसको देख सकते हो. एंड यू कैन डू द बैक टेस्टिंग ऑल्सो. तो बैक टेस्टिंग करके आप उन मॉडल्स को चेक करिए जहाँ पे ये मैंने सब डिस्प्ले किया था, एंड यू कैन बी अ गुड सक्सेसफुल ट्रेडर gaining conviction out of those ideas. So please do a little bit of effort. Okay, अगर वो आप करेंगे, I am 100% sure. अभी मैं थोड़ा बहुत दिखा दूंगा, that will not solve the problem. Everything, see, learning has to be repetitive. साइकिल एक दिन में कोई नहीं सीखता है, उसको 8 दिन, महीना, 2-5 बार गिरना, you know, it's a process. So इस तरीके से अगर आपको एक स्टॉक को सिलेक्ट करना है तो उसके लिए आपको क्या क्या देखना चाहिए, किन चीजों को मैं देखता हूँ और उन स्टॉक्स को मैं पकड़ता हूँ, वो देखना पड़ेगा. तो ऑनगोइंग बेसिस पे आप उन स्टॉक्स को ट्रैक कर सकते हैं जो मैंने रेकमेंड किए हैं. एंड once again, see, please don't take it that my strike rate is 100%. My strike rate, I am very clearly saying it again and again. Right now also, after so many years, it is not more than 70%. Okay. So, one should expect that if 10 stocks are recommended by me, 3 won't perform. Okay. So, that's the idea. Nobody has touched ever 100%. और कई बार ऐसे by fluke, for a few months I would have touched 100%, but that's not on a consistent basis. It can happen with anybody. So let's be very honest and practical about our stock selection process. आप लोग जब नए होंगे, when I was new, my initial strike rate was like 25-30%. You know? So out of 10, 7 or 8 stocks won't perform. But then over the years, they scaled up to 40, 50, 60%. And you know, lately I'm seeing in the last 2 years time, it's touching around 70%. And that's giving me pretty good returns, because for 3 stocks which I'm cutting down my losses by 10%, जहाँ पे मैंने stop loss hit हुआ और निकाल दिया उन stocks को, तो बाकी की जो 7 stocks है, they are giving me 30% gains. Think of it like you lose 30%, 30 rupees, 10 rupees of 3 stocks, and you gain 7 into 3, 210 rupees. Adjusting those 30 rupees is a net profit of 170, 80 rupees. So that's how you manage your portfolio. Okay. Should we check delivery percentage or delivery volumes? Delivery volumes is more important to me. Delivery percentage is also important to me. अगर डिलीवरी वॉल्यूम्स जो है वो 2x, 4x, 5x जंप हो गए, तो that shows that some big buyer is there. You understand the logic? जैसे एक स्टॉक है, उसका पिछले 20 दिन का डिलीवरी, the trading volume was 1 lakh शेयर, जिसमें 20-30,000 शेयर्स का डिलीवरी होता था. तो that shows ना कि ये जो है सडनली 20-30% उसका डिलीवरी होता है. Now, someday the volume from 1 lakh, it jumps to let's say 5 lakhs. Okay. But उस टाइम पे भी 20-30% ही डिलीवरी हुआ है, तो that's pointless. 5 lakhs के वॉल्यूम के साथ डिलीवरी भी 1 लाख, 2 लाख या 2.5 लाख का होना चाहिए. तो वो हुआ जंप इन डिलीवरी, मतलब सही जंप हुआ डिलीवरी में, जहां पे जो एवरेज 20-30,000 शेयर्स का डिलीवरी था, उसकी जगह पे 2.5 लाख शेयर्स का डिलीवरी. अभी सोचने वाली बात है कि रिटेल इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर्स कांट जंप डिलीवरी टू दिस परसेंटेज, टू दिस लेवल्स, 2x, 3x, 4x काइंड ऑफ डिलीवरी. उसमें कहीं ना कहीं कोई इंस्टीट्यूशनल या HNI सपोर्ट होना ही चाहिए, जिसकी वजह से ये जंप होता है. एंड इट्स वेरी रैशनल टू थिंक दैट इफ समबडी इज बेटिंग बिग ऑन अ स्टॉक, उसके पास कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन है जो हमारे पास नहीं. If I have, let's say, 2 CR in my pocket, and if I have to invest into stocks, मैं एक स्टॉक में 1 CR नहीं डालूंगा, मैं एक स्टॉक में 20 लाख रुपए डालूंगा या 30 लाख रुपए डालूंगा आउट ऑफ 2 CR. बट अगर मेरे पास कुछ कॉन्क्रीट इंफॉर्मेशन है जिसके बेसिस पे आई एम रेडी टू गेन, देन मैं उसमें 1 CR डाल सकता हूँ. बट उसके लिए मुझे कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए. अब हर प्रोमोटर आके हमको ये इंफॉर्मेशन तो देने वाला नहीं है. There will be employees into the companies, the people who are related with the promoter, जिनके पास ये insider information होती है. There are institutions which keep on close contact with the promoters, जिन लोगों के द्वारा ये information आती है. And that's when they start actively buying into those stocks. तो वॉल्यूम्स जो है वो डिलीवरी बेस 2x 4x 5x जंप होते हैं, कई बार तो 10x भी जंप होते हैं, और वो मुझे कन्विक्शन देता है कि नहीं ये स्टॉक है, दिस इज गोइंग टू गो बिग टाइम अहेड. ओके, thank you very much for giving RS to retail investors. Obviously 100% it's my pleasure to give it to so many people. You have given me so much of love in the last 11 months. Next month we will be completing the first year of starting this journey. So I am, I cannot express in words the joy which I have felt in the last 11 months associating with all of you, and the positive motivation which I get every day reading your comments which I received. Maybe more than hundreds of people must have said the way they have started investing into a all new different way rather what they were doing previously. जहाँ पे every crash they used to get anxious और वो अपनी positions को 10% profit के beyond hold नहीं कर पाते थे. तो ये जो feedbacks आप लोगों से आता है, that inspires us, that motivates us, that always wants us to give more out of ourselves, so that we can empower the retail investors of our nation. And one thing I've always understood since I was young when I started my investing journey, that India is a country jahan pe we are facing double whammy. We don't have a social security of our life once we are retired or maybe after 65-70 years. That's the biggest problem. Second is interest rates are coming down. Maybe it's around 5%, 6% today. And the street inflation, I'm not talking of the government figures. The street inflations, my assumptions are, it is not below 10 to 13%. Think of it like when you keep your money idle, you get 5% from the bank. But the way it depreciates every year is at the rate of 12-13%. So net, when you invest into bank FDs, into insurance, into debt, you are a loss-making investment which you are doing because you are at a capital loss. और वो हम सबको ब्लंडर कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. हमें as a human, when we earn some money, that's our saving. तो उस सेविंग को मिनिमम 10-15% के ऊपर ग्रो करना, that's our responsibility. If we don't do this, even at the age of 70, I assure you, आप लोगों को काम करना पड़ेगा और हर दिन कुछ पैसा बाहर से लेके आना पड़ेगा. There will never be a retirement period for you. So unless and until you think seriously about it, you will have to work for many years of your life, and probably at old age also. It's your choice whether you want to be very safe and enjoy those safe returns, or you want to get a little aggressive and take your investing returns to more than 15-20% के आसपास, so that at some point you have some years, maybe a decade, to live for yourselves with your life partner. That's your choice. I have seen the webinar. My question: we have to increase the RS setting by 1 every day for how long? See, आपने webinar देखा है? I don't think so. आपने शायद face to face देखा होगा. But very clearly, अगर आपने September webinar देखा है, तो इसका आंसर आपके पास होना ही चाहिए. Very simple. I strongly recommend, if you don't have understood that system, तो आप फिर से एक बार webinar को देख लीजिए. See, it's not very complicated. Very simple, easy to understand model है. पर maybe 4th standard का बच्चा है, उसको भी अगर ये webinar एक बार दिखा दो ना, तो वो system समझ जाएगा. इतना complicated नहीं है. It's very simple. तो कई बार ऐसा होता है because of other work or some deviation in your viewing time, आप लोगों ने कुछ miss कर दिया. तो I strongly recommend. See, my webinar is not a one-time view. मैं खुद भी अपने webinars काफी बार देखता हूँ, revisit करता हूँ, उसमें से जो मैंने बोला है उन points को pick up करता हूँ. My mentor, who has been Mr. Tom Dorsey since 2008, उनसे मेरा direct interaction है. कई बार मैं उनसे discuss करता हूँ. Even after 13 years, उनको मैं message करके I call him when he has a comfortable time to talk to me, and he guides me on this thing. We never think ourselves as experts. हाँ, हम लोग थोड़े better हो सकते हैं. हम लोग साइकोलॉजी को हम मैनेज ज्यादा कर सकते rather than any new retail investor अपनी साइकोलॉजी को, but we can never be 100%, and that's how it is. You evolve, you change yourselves. It's very dynamic. Market keeps changing itself. Market itself is a dynamic thing, it evolves itself. Lately we have seen कि कुछ साल पहले जो मार्केट में एक सेक्टर चलता था तो 8-8, 10-10 साल चलता था हमारे फादर्स के पेरेंट्स के टाइम पे. जब हम बड़े होने लगे तो वो सेक्टर रोटेशन हर 2-3 साल में होने लगा. और अब तो ये सिचुएशन है कि सेक्टर रोटेशन महीनों में हो जाता है, दिनों में हो जाता है. एंड दैट्स व्हाट द इवोल्यूशन इज. वो डार्विन का थियरी ना कि सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट. तो जो अपने आप को अडेप्ट करेगा वो सक्सेस हो पाएगा. जो रूल बुक में बैठ जाएगा और रूल बुक के अलावा आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं देखेगा, you will fail. So you have to decide what you want to do. Your support to retail investors, great achievement, very right. From operators, everyone want to skip retail investor. Obviously, I am also a retail investor like you all. मैं कोई institutional investor नहीं हूँ. मेरा portfolio भी easily classified into retail हो सकता है. Yes, I get good income out of that portfolio because of my investing methods. And कहीं ना कहीं मैं भी retail investors हूँ, इसी वजह से I have that special place for all the retail investors, across our country and overseas also. I have seen many overseas NRIs. हमारे NRIs तो पूरे वर्ल्ड में है, and वो लोग भी इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने की बहुत अच्छी इच्छा रखते हैं. Many NRIs are also into my advisory, and strictly because they have joined, because कि उनका टाइम जोन नहीं मैच हो रहा है. वो लोग जिस टाइम जोन में रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं वहाँ पे उन लोगों का सोने का टाइम है, तो बेचारे रिसर्च how will they do it? It's very difficult for them. And कुछ सालों बाद जब वो इंडिया आएंगे तब तक वो मैच्योर हो जाएंगे, they will be able to do their investing journey in a much better way. But right now they are associated with me, and I'm happy to help them out in their planning of their wealth management and whatever we have things to do with them. I believe we had a lot of questions for you. For now, it's already 1 hour and 15 minutes, something into the session. Thank you all for being with me so much. I believe Vivek ji was not able to join us today because of some other commitments. He did confirm me, but maybe कई बार कई चीजें घर की आ जाती है तो we cannot join. And I really am thankful to everybody. Once again, new RS warriors, please don't get confused. Please don't get overwhelmed with you are missing lot of things. There's nothing like that. 80-85% आप लोगों को मेरे वेबिनार से मिल ही जाएगा. अगर एक बार देख के आपको लग रहा है that there are many things which you didn't understand, I strongly once again recommend कि आप दोबारा उस वेबिनार को देखिए. I'm very sure आप जितनी बार उस वेबिनार को बार देखेंगे, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, you will find amazing things which you missed out on the earlier view. समय लगेगा बट नॉलेज भी मिलेगा. मैं खुद अपना वेबिनार देखता हूँ, आप समझ सकते हैं ना. मेरे दिमाग में भी बहुत सारे आइडियाज होते हैं जो because of the clutter we have in our life, many times we forget those things. So there's never a like मुझे तो पता है kind of an attitude. It's always like I'm a learner, I want to learn more, and I will keep on learning till the time I crack the nut. That's how it is. Neeraj ji, thank you so much. I am a retired person. Last 1 year, you have brought change in my life. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I could make a difference to people who were actually not investing directly into Indian stock market. Whether it's a retired person, whether it's a new person, whether it's a person who is having a lot of job commitments. But I'm really happy that I could make a difference to a few people of our country and that gives me so much of satisfaction inside. एक खुशी मिलती है लोगों को देने में, बांटने में, जो खुशी है ना वो लाइफ में और किसी चीज में नहीं। उसको प्लीज एक्सपीरियंस कीजिए। you can do it via my NGO, contributing to it. We are doing number of initiatives all around the year. Every week we try to do something or the other for the betterment of the underprivileged. तो आपके पास समय नहीं है तो आप मेरे एनजीओ से जुड़ जाइए। अगर आपके पास समय है तो प्लीज करिए। पीपल अराउंड यू, मेक देम हैप्पी, ब्रिंग देम जॉय इन देयर लाइफ। उनका जॉय देख के आपके अंदर जो अच्छी बातें होंगी, आप जो पॉजिटिविटी फील करेंगे, यू विल बी अ बेटर पर्सन, यू विल बी अ बेटर ह्यूमन, एंड दैट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट इन लाइफ। So please do it. It's my request. I have experienced it for many years and I am going to continue that for many years till I am alive. But I want everybody around me to experience the joy of giving and keep doing it again. Coca-Cola Fanta. No, I would rather prefer a tea or a coffee after the session. And thank you again, all of you, for joining me today. It was a pleasure to answer your concerns and queries. अगर आपको कहीं पे भी कुछ और जानना हो, please feel free to post it on the group. By the support of all the pro RS warriors जो मेरे साथ पिछले 11 महीनों से है, आप लोगों की concerns हम address कर पाएंगे. Before going, once again, let me try to name the good people who I am associated with me. अगर कोई नाम भूल जाऊँ तो please excuse me. But these are the people who have supported me. First is our Pratik bhai, who is always behind the sessions. वो screen पे नहीं दिख रहे, but he is the person who is managing all these things. Second is Niranjan ji, an excellent programmer. बहुत सारे tools उन्होंने हमारे लिए design किए हैं, and they have become a part of my life. Thank you so much, Niranjan ji, for doing it. Gurjeev Anand ji, I mean, one of the best person I have ever met. Recently he has started social initiatives via his webinar, और वो initiatives का जो भी contribution आता है वो webinar से he is contributing to the NGOs, which I really liked and I'm really thankful to him. There is Braj, there is Pawan, there is Harsh. He is always monitoring the group कि कोई इधर उधर की बातें पोस्ट करके ग्रुप के जो sentiments है उसको डिस्टर्ब नहीं करता है. I'm thankful to him. And there are many other people जो लोग मुझे support कर रहे हैं via their tools and technical research. And it's like every morning it gives me so much of positivity when I wake up that okay, I have thousands of people along with me who are supporting me in this RS investing journey, and that keeps me 100% motivated every single day of my life. I'm thankful to everybody. किसी का नाम भूल गया हूँ तो please excuse me, but I have tried to put forward the names so that people on the group they can take help of people. Apurva ji hai, and there are many other, Mahendra ji hai, so there are many other people who are there who are supporting me. Please keep on supporting me. I will try my best to give the best which I can to everybody. Mera picture no, I'm not the good person. Let's keep our Almighty into our heart. और सिर्फ उनको याद करके हमें अच्छे कर्म करना है. See, my mother has always told me the extra money which passes from us is not supposed to be kept in our bank accounts. We are blessed by the Almighty because we can do His work for the people. Almighty always wants to empower many of us, but it's some greedy people जो बहुत सारा लेके बैठ जाते हैं as if life is going to be endless. Life is going to be at a full stop at some point, and the money which you have kept for yourself, there is going to be a dead end to that money. Okay? The people behind you will cherish those money, but you did nothing for that. So till the time you have life, please try to empower others. If more money is coming to you beyond the needs which you have, okay, and that's what I keep on doing. I keep my needs to the minimum, and I try to help the people around who I see need that money. तो उनको मैं ज्यादा देता हूँ, अपने लिए कम रखने की कोशिश करता हूँ. आप करिए इस चीज को. I think that will help you a lot in life, and that will let you live a blissful life for many years to come ahead. No, no, it's not like the numbers which matters, Rishi ji. It's all about, many people अपने busy होंगे किसी work में. So when they see the recording, they will obviously post their comments. We will come across many good things as time come across, and together we will do many things which will empower us all. और हम लोग जो है मार्केट से अच्छा रिटर्न कमा के दूसरों की मदद कर पाएंगे, अपनी लाइफ को बेटर कर पाएंगे, अपने नेक्स्ट जनरेशन को अच्छा एजुकेशन दे पाएंगे. Thank you so much. I think it's time. My dinner time is almost there. I have received one or two calls from my better half already. So before I get kicked out of my house, let me close the session and see you around after a while. Maybe after a few days, I will do one more session for all of you. Thank you so much for being with me